Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where we're covering More Fun Comics issue 104, Good Hunting. Not Goodwill Hunting, but Good Hunting. Now, the strength of the More Fun Comics and Superboy stories we have covered so far, the three of them we've covered so far, has been they've been very simple, direct, and to the point. We're already starting to see some cracks kind of happen to the Superboy stories as the last issue was a little more complex. This one's a little more complex, but we're going to put quotations around complex. It takes more work or more setup to actually get to the plot. Here there is a evil landlord. Okay, Superman's going back to his communism roots. Let's take out an evil landlord. Screw landlords. What do they do other than hoard land and buildings to jack up the prices on just because they can? What a worthless part of society. Anyway, this young boy is going to lose his house because his mother cannot afford the rent anymore. But he has a plan. He's going to go hunt some silver foxes because silver fox coats are apparently very expensive. So this is fur trading. So if you don't support fur in any way, you're probably going to have an issue with what's going on here. Even though it's not like the biggest part, but it is the treasure of the story. He inadvertently almost kills the landlord when he's practicing shooting arrows. This is where Superboy gets involved. Then he goes hunting and disappears for a few days. That seems bad. Why did Superboy let him do that? Turns out he ran into two guys. Yes, once again, our thread of the comic is two guys who are stealing silver foxes from a breeder. And though the kid didn't understand what they were doing, he had seen them and they let him sort of walk into quicksand to die. Though he doesn't sink completely into the quicksand because that's not how quicksand works. But Superboy shows up to save him, finds out about these guys, screws with them for a bit, and then we find out, wow, twist upon twist, it's actually three guys because they're actually working for the landlord. Yes, Superboy can't just take out the landlord for being a massive monster to people and just being awful to begin with because he wanted to snap that kid's neck after the accident with the arrows. No, the landlord has to be responsible for this so he can just take out the landlord. I mean, I feel like what the landlord was doing to begin with was justifiable enough for Superboy to screw with them. Actually, old Superman would have pulled a sort of Christmas Carol type screwing with him until he became nice situation. I miss those Superman stories. If I said bad things about them, God, I miss those stories. And the kid ends up fine because the fox coats. But you can see how, like, I barely talked about Superboy because Superboy is actually not in a lot of this comic. It takes so long to get from him ending up in the woods. It's maybe about 3 pages, and remember, it's a 7-page comic. Superboy does 3 things. Oh my god, he does do 3 things. I guess 4 things if you count taking the criminals to the law and revealing the landlord was behind this the whole time, but that can be just included with him throwing around their cabin for a bit and taking them out. He's really not around all that much, and he doesn't have much of an opinion of what's going on. I'm also still very unclear of this. It hasn't been called Smallville, and it gets even more confusing as time passes where exactly Superboy lives, because sometimes it feels like Metropolis. I think they even reference Metropolis. Other times he lives in a sort of idyllic turn-of-the-century small town, something like a Main Street, USA. Other times it's pretty sporadically spaced, and then there will be an actual city. So I'm very confused about where Clark is, or even if this is a small town to be Smallville. And even as the family gets rich off the silver fox coats he finds, they still seem to be living in this town. So it's a comic that kind of sets up something to say but doesn't say it. But it really, really does hate landlords. It just can't go about it in a way we all feel. The landlord actually has to do something bad to justify taking him down, instead of just being a landlord, which in itself is a bad thing. Yeah, it's a bad thing. Okay, that is it from More Fun Comics, issue 104. Good hunting. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notifications when new videos up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Friday is Bat Friday, where I cover a Batman story in either Detective Comics or Batman. And until next time, let's ponder the question, whatever did happen to the boy of tomorrow? And why isn't everybody just hunting these silver foxes if it makes this one family rich? I mean, there's going to be other problems with basically hunting the foxes out. But you would expect more people to try, right? Okay, have a great day.